blogger Caitlin Williams is joining me in studio. Now, she's just won the Best Food and Wine blog from the SA Blog Awards, and I'm really excited to speak about food with her. Hello.
Good morning. Oh, afternoon.
Yeah, it is the afternoon. Jeez, that day went by fast. Now, I'm always excited to talk about food, and I know you are as well. Tell me about your blog. When did you decide to start sharing your food venture with everyone?
So the blog was kind of like a space where I could be creative and do my own thing without limitations of the television show I work for, or somebody telling me what I could do. It was basically whatever I felt like baking that weekend. And it also kind of came from a place where I was so tired of people asking me, do you have a great chocolate cake recipe, or what's your milk tart recipe? And it kind of came out of laziness, because I thought, well, if I put all my recipes online, then I just have to send people a link, and they can just visit the blog. So that's kind of how it was born, and I must say I was really surprised when it took off, and people started loving what I was doing.
When did you get into baking? Because your recipes actually blow my mind. So when did you start baking, and how did you become this phenomenal woman who can make up these delicious, delectable recipes?
So I think a sweet tooth kind of grows in our family. It's a gene that you inherit from our family, at least. And so it's always been something that's, my mom is the queen of finishing a tin of condensed milk, so I kind of inherited that from her. But baking started very young for me. When I was 6, I got a little set of measuring cups and spoons, and I used to put on my own cooking shows in the kitchen at home and pretend I had my own show, and it used to drive my mother nuts from all the washing up. But and I always used to love a challenge. I remember trying to make spun sugar when I was 11.
Oh my gosh.
So I've always loved a challenge, and I've always wanted to be involved in food. And I grew up on a farm, so we were used to having the freshest vegetables and milk from the cows out in the yard. So food was always a very, very important part of my life.
Now, aside from baking, because we all know how much you love baking, what else do you love in the kitchen?
I must admit, when I cook, I suppose this comes from the baking background. I love to plan what I'm going to cook. I'm not really one of those girls that can rustle up a 3-course meal from leftovers in the fridge. It's not really my kind of thing. But I love Asian food. And I love experimenting. So if I see something really interesting that's going to take a little bit of time, I'm that girl. I'm the girl that's going to spend 3 days doing something. Yeah.
Bakers really are planners, and to the T, they're almost like scientists.
Exactly. Precision.
Yes, exactly.
A little bit OCD,
Yes. Now, I want to talk about your blog. What's been your most commented on recipe?
It would probably be the cronuts. So when cronuts became that big thing, and
everyone all over the world were looking for cronuts.
Yes, and they were queuing for days and spending $5 on a cronut. I thought this was ridiculous. I mean, I didn't know what the fuss was about, so I thought, well, I can't go and stand in a queue, so let me make my own. So I made my own, and I put them up on the internet, and I pressed post, and I kind of forgot about it. And then when I checked at the end of the weekend, internet kind of broke. And
you broke the internet with your cronuts.
The cronuts, and people were just, I think there wasn't anything online at the time on how to make your own, and some people felt very strongly about making your own versus Dominique Ansels. So yeah, that was quite interesting, and I would say that's definitely the one that's still gets tons of hits. Yeah.
Tell me about those strong reactions from people online.
Well, I mean, people obviously, they're hardcore Dominique Ansel fans. Yeah. So my suggestion, the recipe at the time, I suggested using margarine, and people had a cadenza about that.
Okay.
But it was merely a cost thing, so yeah.
Now, that's your most commented on. What's been your most shared recipe?
Definitely the one that's on Food24 today, I think it is, the chocolate peppermint crisp fridge cake.
That just looks delicious. It's 5 ingredients,
it's
right?
5 ingredients: chocolate, butter, condensed milk, half a tin of condensed milk because you need to eat the rest, peppermint crisp bars, I put some Aero in there as well, and shortbread biscuits. So really easy, you don't even need to turn on your oven for it. And South Africans, we love peppermint crisp. You can do anything peppermint crisp, people love it.
And it just goes in the fridge.
Yes,
simple.
In the fridge and done. It's really, it's great for when you want something sweet right now and you can't wait.
Well, I mean, it's been actually blowing up Food24's website. Were you surprised how popular it was?
Well, judging from the last time that I put it on social media, it was one of those recipes I made for Espresso when I had a segment on the show, and I didn't even think it was worth a blog post. I was like, I put it up on Facebook, and I thought, this is for the people that asked for the recipe. And I'm eating my words now because it turned out it was a really, really good recipe, yeah.